Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Vistapitam yena bhutale swayam rupa kada mahyam dadati swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuktapad Shri Guru Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragnathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taribhascha Kripa Sindhupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Ragvi Mataji, I can see you on the video. Okay, can you see the screen, Mataji? Okay. So I take that as yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, I can see this.
Hopefully you can hear me as well. Okay, let's start. Before we start this discussion, I thought we'll just look at our PDF file quickly, where we are. Are you able to see this PDF file?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Just quickly see where we are at the moment, and then I'll take it out. Okay, so last week we I think did from 42 onward till 51. So let's look at this section here. So there are 6 sections in the second chapter. So first section obviously was Arjuna's verses, Arjuna's further surrender, indecision, which we discussed, the 5th reason. And then this chapter sort of started from 211. So we have done Jnana section, which defeated the compassion argument of Krishna. Then we did Karma Kanda section, which is 231 to 237, where Krishna defeated the enjoyment and sinful reaction argument of Krishna. Now we are in the 3rd section, which is Buddhi Yoga, 238 to 253, which defeats the sinful reaction argument of Krishna. We'll be reading Buddhi Yoga at the moment. And then today, hopefully, we'll enter into Sthit Dhir Muni section, which is the last section of this chapter, the biggest one, 254 to 72. So it's good to remember these sections so that we know the theme where we are at. Okay, let's start from our previous discussion. Maybe we can have devotees from backwards today. We have Karika Mataji, Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna Mataji, Kanika Mataji, Hare Krishna. Maybe she's not ready yet, that's okay. We have Priya Mataji, Hare Krishna, Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Would you like to say something about 242 and 43, which we discussed last week?
I have written some notes, Prabhuji, but I didn't think I remembered about 242 or 243, Prabhuji.
Okay.
So I think I've got for the other verses, but sorry, I missed
Okay.
that
No
portion.
worries, Mataji. We'll go back to Sumandira Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, then with Pranam.
Mataji.
Prabhuji, I'm driving, Prabhuji. I have notes, but I'm driving. I can't.
No problem. No problem. I'll move to Divya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, I'll try.
Yes.
So I'll read the translation first. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. So Prabhuji, we discussed that in the initial verses, Krishna said that if you die in battlefield, you will get heaven. And so we were doing all the calculations, what you'll get by doing what. So Krishna said, whatever I've just spoken, they were all flowery words, so flowery, superficial words. So then we also discussed discriminatory intelligence. So discriminatory intelligence is what is recommended according to Shastras, how I can better advance in spiritual life. And then we also discussed how in Vedas, different kandas, so Karma Kanda is 75%, Jnana Kanda is 20%, and Bhakti is 5%. So Krishna is now talking about Kama, is it Kama Smana? So which is heart is filled with Kama, and Kama here we're talking about desire. And Janma Karma resulting in good birth and other fruitive activities. And yeah, that's it, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. You have said quite a few good points. Just the last line I would just say here, Bhog Aishwarya Gatim Prati. This is also very important. The people who are followers of the Vedas and they're looking for the temporary benefits in Swarga, what is their Gati? What's the destination in their mind? Bhoga and Aishwarya. Bhoga refers to
Sense gratification.
Sense gratification. Aishwarya is
Opulence.
Opulence. Thank you, Madhu. So their mind is constantly inspired by getting this bhoga and aishwarya. I'll get a lot of sense gratification. I'll get a lot of opulence. And that's why the word Krishna has used kama atmanaha. So atma refers to the very himself or herself. You can say kama. Their desires are so much, they think their desires are their soul. Like a devotee think that their soul belongs to Krishna and soul should be engaged 24/7 in service of Krishna. But they think their desire should be fulfilled. Their desire should be served 24/7. And what the gati they're looking for? Bhoga and Aishwarya. And for that, what they do? Kriya. Kriya refers to sacrifice. They do kriya. How many kriyas they do? Bahulam. Many kriyas they do. And what sort of kriya, what sort of sacrifice they do? Vishesha, very specific. So because they have so much inspired by achieving the bhoga and aishwarya, they're doing lots of specific yajnas for that purpose, so that they can take birth in Swarga. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Very nice.
Thank you.
Anyone has any other points? You can also take that. This is the combination of two verses, but it's very nice. It displays the general mentality of the people who follow the Vedas. We're not even talking about vikarmis here. We're talking about the people who follow the Vedas. That's what they seek. And what Krishna is saying, don't seek any temporary things. Seek the eternal things. Okay, we'll move to 44. Who is before Mataji? Jai Prakash Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dandat Pranam. Yeah, Prabhu, I think I'll just read the translation first.
Yeah.
It's in the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. So I think here it's further qualifying where Lord is emphasizing the importance if one is attached to the sense gratification as well as attached to the opulence, then there is every chance that he may eventually fall down. So instead, I think again it is mentioned that one need to have a vyavasatmika buddhi, which has been already discussed in the previous verses. That is, we need to have a fixed mind in Krishna consciousness so that we can gradually overcome the bhoga Ishwarya, and that way we can be single pointed focus and resolute in our purpose to devotional service. And it may take, it's a gradual process, but obviously if one is fixed in his mind, he also attains the samadhi what we discussed. And eventually we discussed on also few examples, I think one to do with the vrita sword. Like he said, even though he has been awarded, like was not very keen to have Brahmaloka or Pataloka or Suryaloka, but he is always thinking big and he was focused to seek the mercy of the Lord. So that's one example I think we discussed.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice. So as Prabhuji very nicely mentioned, Vyavasatmika Buddhi, this word Krishna has used in 241 earlier, just 2 or 3 verses before. And if you want to achieve the Vyavasatmika Buddhi, what are Ekehe Kurunandana? That was the verse 241. But here is Krishna is saying, if you are Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktanam, if you are too much attached to Bhoga and Aishwarya, Samadhav na vidhiyate. Why? Because your aparhat chetasam, your consciousness has been abducted by the attachment of bhoga and aishwarya. You're constantly desiring to gain bhoga and aishwarya. And that's what we see people in general, isn't it? Outside world, they're constantly trying to upgrade their car, house, their look, their status from this and that. So because they're too much attached, bhoga aishwarya prasaktanam. And what Krishna is saying for them, Taya aparhat chetasam, their chetasa is aparad, kidnapped. Their chetana, their consciousness has been kidnapped by the asakti, by the attachment towards bhoga and aishwarya. A devotee chetana or consciousness is abducted what? Service for Krishna. He doesn't care too much about bhoga and aishwarya, you know, something simple. He wants to eat something, he wants to sleep somewhere, and just simple life. Devotee's life is simple. But what his chetana is, what his consciousness is, how can I serve Krishna? How can I serve Krishna? How can I give better facility to my deities, better facility to the devotees? So that's his chetana. And what's this person's chetana? Bhoga and aishwarya, attachment to bhoga and aishwarya. So what will be the result? The final line says, Samadhav na vidhiyate. He will not be able to be fixed in Krishna consciousness. He will always be flickering. Very nice. Next one. 245. Going backwards now. We have Sumit Prabhu and Sonia Mataji. Any one of you like to do?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
Sumit Prabhuji is busy at work, so he'll come shortly.
That's okay, Mataji.
I can try, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the 3 modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these 3 modes. Be free from dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. So just 1 moment, Prabhuji. There must be a lot of background noise coming. Sorry.
Mataji, it's all right.
Okay, so over here, Prabhuji, it is mentioned about that we work on the 3 modes of material nature, and we should be free from all the dualities and from all the anxieties. So basically, we should not be worried about too much gain and safety, and we should involve in the Krishna consciousness and put all our focus on the Krishna consciousness rather than bhoga and aishwarya.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
And also, like, the devotee is not distressed with the happiness or cold or warmth. He is stable in every situation, and he is not looking for any comfort or discomfort. He is easily adaptable to any situation or any change.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Nice. Mataji nicely explained the meaning of nirdvando. So dvanda refers to 2 dualities of this material nature, which always exist. Wherever there is some happiness, there will be distress waiting for you. If there is some man, there is someone praising, there will be some criticism coming towards you. It's just the way it is. You cannot separate the 2. I think someone said these are the 2 sides of the same coin. You cannot separate it. So If you get one, just wait, another one is coming. And similarly, if some dukha is coming, sukha will also come. Huh? It will just pass by. When the due course expires, that time will pass by. That's why devotee is not too much worried about that. So nirdvando, nitya sattvasto. So Prabhupada writes, I'm just reading Prabhupada translation here, nitya sattvasto, in a pure state of spiritual existence, in a pure state. Huh? Devotee's mind is pure. Niryoga shame, free from ideas of gain and protection, which Mataji said. And the last word, which I really like, Atmavan. Atmavan refers to what? One means the possessor, possessor of Atma. I think I gave two examples, Balwan and Dhanwan. So Balwan refers to who has a lot of bala, lot of strength he has, and Dhanwan who has a lot of wealth. So similarly, we have Atmavan. So how do you become possessor of the Atma? You cannot keep Atma in your fist, say, okay, I have become Atmavan. What does Atmavan mean? Your Atma is under your control. The desires, the consciousness of the Atma is under your control. Now, at the moment, most of us are not Atman, isn't it? Prabhupada called us, we are Godas. We are not Goswami, we are Godas. Okay, we are in the process. Many times we get defeated by our desires and senses, sensory demands. Many times we get defeated. But a person who's Atmavan never gets defeated. He knows what is good for the Atma, he does that, and what is not good for the Atma, he clearly stays away from that. Top line also is very nice. Traigunya Vishya, Vedas. So Vedas deal with what? I think Deva Mataji was saying 75% Karma Kanda has been discussed in the Vedas. So Traigunya Vishya, they're discussing about three modes of material nature, trying to bring from ignorance to passion, passion to goodness. So Vedas are dealing with three modes of material nature. Nistraya Gunyo. So what you should become? Nistraya Gunyo. You should become Gunatit. You should become transcendent to these three modes. You should go beyond these three modes. And that's how you become Nistraya Gunyo. It does not mean you become another Jyoti and you go and merge into the big Jyoti. Not like that. You go beyond the modes of material nature. And then you are situated in Nitya Sattvasto, in the transcendental state. Okay, that's nice. Let's move. Next one, 246. We have Rasanand Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. 246. Translation. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Veda can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. So this verse is talking about the analogy. Actually, 45 and 46 is talking about the glories of Buddhi Yoga. In that, this verse is specifically talking about the analogy how a reservoir, it does all the activities of different wells. We also discussed like how there are different wells. One well is used for drinking water, one is used for bathing, one is used for washing clothes. Washing clothes and other things. So where all purpose served by small well, that also can be served by a great reservoir of water. So here the word Udapane means small reservoir, and Samplot Dake means the great reservoir, the small wells and great reservoir. So the inner meaning of this is what the Acharya said this, the Sankirtan Yajna or the Krishna conscious fulfills all the purposes of the Vedas. Rather than going to the Vedas, if you are doing Yajna and service of the Lord and doing Sankirtan Yajna, it's equivalent to fulfilling the Vedas.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. So basically this verse, the first two lines, you see the analogy. So there are small wells, say in a village, and different purposes are getting served by those small wells. But if you have a big river, big flowing river, Gangaji or Jamunaji, they will fulfill everything. So similarly, we see a person who is Brahmanasya, one who knows the supreme Brahman. That's what Prabhupada writes here. Brahmanasya means of the man who knows the supreme Brahman. Vijanata, who is in complete knowledge of the supreme Brahman. And who is in the complete knowledge of the supreme Brahman? A person who is in Krishna consciousness, basically. So we were discussing about this Hare Krishna mantra being very, very small. And many people don't actually have faith faith in this mantra. They say, oh, this is just a small mantra. I know this mantra, but they don't chant that mantra with faith. And they have faith in big yagyas. They will invite a brahmana and they will spend, a lot of money, and they will have a lot of wood and a lot of smoke comes out, and they feel pretty good about it. And they say, now I have done something. If you ask them to chant, can you please chant one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra? They cannot do it. Huh? So they don't understand this is a small mantra, but this is the Maha Mantra, is the king of all the mantras, and all the potency Krishna has put in this particular mantra. So if we know that Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu, if we know that this is the gist of all the Vedic literature, and if I follow this perfectly, I am perfectly situated. Then actually you know all the Vedas. Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu. Then you know all the Vedas. Rather than knowing single things, if I desire in Vedas are described, if you want to go to Sargloka, you go this yagya. If you want a son, you do that yagya. If you want a lot of wealth, you do this yagya. If you want good health, you do this yagya. All these things are served by different small reservoirs of water. That's what it says. Huh? Different desires, different well. Different desire, you go to different well to get the water. But if you know a big reservoir of water, which is the gist of the Vedas, again, to become a devotee, then actually you know everything. All your desires will be fulfilled. So it's a very nice verse actually. It emphasizing on going to the purpose of the Veda rather than just following the Vedas to fulfill your different desires at different stages of your life. I think we also mentioned that cobbler and Brahmana story, which we all know related to that verse. So cobbler knew the purpose of the Vedas, and the Brahman just knew the Vedas, did not know the purpose of the Veda. He didn't have the faith in the Vedas. Okay, 247, that's a very popular verse. Mahavasu Prabhu and Bhakti Vijay Mataji, would you like to do that? One of the most famous verses.
Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbur mate sangostva akarmani. Translation: you have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of the action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. So this is the verse which talks about karma and how a person should perform the karma, which is going to be explained in subsequent verses. So the first thing that we discussed was the Adikaar, right? So yes, we may have the right to perform a duty, but that right is not enough to perform all the duties. For example, you gave the example of license to drive a car. That means you don't have the license to drive an aeroplane, right? So obviously you have the Adikaar to drive a car, but then when the situation changes, you cannot drive the same license to drive an aeroplane. Second thing was we do have the right, because we have got the propensity of demanding, and we demand the karma phala for all the activities that we do. So that's why we have that mentality, and one should not be demanding and especially not expecting any karma phala, because to do any activity there are 5 things required, which is explained in 18.13 and 18.14. And it's also said that we should not have expectations, because higher the expectations is the higher the frustration, as what Devkinandan Prabhu explained. So that is the reason that we should not be attached to the results. We should not be attached to doing the work, but at the same time, because we are not the doer and we have no right over the phala, it does not mean that we actually not perform the activity. Equally, we should not be detached from doing the works. So we should do our prescribed duties. And in understanding the prescribed duties, you explained that the prescribed duties can be divided into 2 parts. One is prescribed duty of the body and the prescribed duty of the soul. But predominantly one should actually work for the soul, because we have got a swadharma, which is actually bhagadvarma, which means becoming dear to Krishna. And the prescribed duty of the body comes from 2 sources, as explained, is from Shastras and Guru. So prescribed duty or occupation or the knowledge to acquire is based on the occupation, and that is prescribed in the Vedas and from the Shastras and Guru. That's all, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nicely explained. Anyone else has anything else to add? Okay, all
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
I think one point you mentioned was the Shastra will give you the detail, the general knowledge about how what things to do and what dharma to follow, but the Guru will give you the specific knowledge, information about what needs to be done in a specific case.
Yeah, that's very good. So there's a generic knowledge, like Prabhupada gave the very nice example of if you are sick, you go to a chemist shop. So you cannot say, oh, take any medication. They're all medicines, take any. So they're all medications for different purposes. So the guru, a doctor, will tell you specifically which medicine is for you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Just one more thing I wanted to add here. So karma Adikaar says, Prabhuji nicely explained, different types of karmas are there. We're just taking very simplistic action here. So you have a right to perform action. Prabhu also explained the meaning of Adikaar. The second lies in Ma Phaleshu Kadach, and this is where we get stuck actually. And Prabhupada write in the translation, you are not entitled to the fruits of action. So what happens? Generally speaking, we are only working for the fruits. Generally speaking, a student is working hard in the exam. For what purpose? He wants to get good marks. And why he want to get good marks? So that he can get a good job. Why he want to get a good job? So that he can get a good salary. Why you want to get a good salary? So that he can get married to a good girl, get a good house. And why you are doing that? Enjoy the life at the most. Isn't it? A series of fruits are in our mind. That's why we work. But what is the actual purpose of study? Just in general, why we are studying Shastra, for example, material knowledge or spiritual knowledge. The actual purpose is not just to get good marks, isn't it? The actual purpose is to purify. The actual purpose is to illuminate. So illumination and purification is the main purpose. When we are thinking constantly about the Mars, our focus, actually we are losing our focus, isn't it? We are losing our focus from the purification and illumination to what? To just Mars. You see, many times it happens, a student work very hard, but he can't get good marks in the exam. It happens. And many times it happens other way as well. You don't study much, but whatever you have studied, that comes in the exam, and the teacher was in very generous mood that day. He gives you so many marks. It happens. So the point here is not to think about the fruit, but point is not to get distracted by constantly thinking about the fruits of that action. Is that clear? So we have to think. Even when we are going to temple, we are thinking about the fruits. And what's the fruit there? Fruit is not Bhogeshwara Saktanam. Fruit is what? The pleasure of the Lord. I want to please the Lord by me visiting the temple, by me rendering some service to the Lord. I'm pleasing my Lord. I'm pleasing the Vaishnavas. That is the purpose. And by that purpose, we are purifying ourselves. So purpose is there. But what's the difference here? We are not having a demanding attitude. And I think I gave the example of Putana. Putana was given the gati of Dhatri, the gati of the mother. When Krishna, although she only gave poison to Krishna. So when we give milk to Krishna, can we demand from Krishna? Krishna, see, I have given you milk one time in my life. You must give me at least a Dhatri position. Putana gave poison, I'm giving you milk. Once in a life, I offered something. Now that is also very nice. And there are many stories in Shastra. You'll read one time someone chanted Vishnu or Krishna or Vasudev. He said, Iti Vasudeva Pranam. And actually, he ended up in Vaikuntha Loka. So those stories are there to encourage us, but that's not what we only do, because we cannot demand. If we love, we cannot demand. Love means sacrifice. And when we're talking about love of Godhead, love of Krishna, we are not putting our demands or conditions in the middle, saying, okay, I am offering this bhoga to you, some fruits or milk. So you should also give me the same gati, same destination, what you have given to, say, Putana, because that demand is not the sign of love. So this is why this line is actually very deep, very, very deep. So although we should not be consumed constantly by the result of that activity, but we are doing the activity for a good outcome. And I think I gave an example of a grahini, a housewife, is cooking very nice bhoga for the pleasure of the family, and it's how it should be, isn't it? She or he cannot say, oh, I don't care how the sabji comes out, how the rice comes out. No, we are working for that, but we are not constantly consumed by that. What we are doing, we are putting our love and effort, and we're praying to Srimati Radharani, for example, you please make it very, very nice. So Ma Phaleshu Kadachin, this line actually is very important for us to know, although we are working in the direction, but we're not having a demanding attitude. Whatever Krishna provides, we are happy with that. And that's why we have to understand the difference between a loving relationship between a devotee and the Lord, and a demanding attitude between, say, an employee and the employer. I've worked, overtime 3 days, you must give me an extra time in lieu, for example. Or a student demanding for the marks. All those things, because they're consumed by marks rather than the purification and illumination, which a devotee is looking forward to. Okay, Ujjwala Mataji or Akhandra Prabhuji has a question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
I had come across a person who was quite a hard worker, and he used to usually get good results. And once I had met him when he was, the exams were finished and he was waiting for the result. And he was so, as you said, consumed. He was consumed by that thought of what is going to happen with the result. So I tried telling him this particular verse. I tried to tell him, okay, just to be peaceful, maybe you can try chanting, meditation, but actually nothing was useful. He was not ready to accept any of these advice or suggestions. So in such a case, when a person really gets consumed by these thoughts of the result, what should be the advice to that person?
Okay, it's a very nice question, a very compassionate question. Mataji is concerned, which is nice. A devotee is like that. So Mataji, first thing first, there is no one answer to this question. Like a spiritual master, and I can talk in this assembly, talks to an individual disciple individually. We're talking about that Shastra gives a generic instruction, spiritual master gives you the specific instructions. So if someone is consumed by any desires, any material desire, whether it's a happiness or distress or is in depression or whatever, it depends on which person we are talking, which context we are talking. So we have to sort of understand the case before we can give the prescription of that. But in general, what our society tells us, these sort of people, you bring them to Hare Krishna movement, or if they don't want to come, feed them prasadam, and be their good friend. Good friend means a friend who really cares about them. We're not just like a lip friend. Oh, hi, how are you? And how's the things? And how's your job? And how's your cat and dog? No, we are genuinely caring about that person, because people right now, most of the time, they are very empty in their heart and they're looking for good friends. So we as a devotee, if we can be a good friend to this person, just listen to the concerns. You don't have to give the solution. Just listen to the concerns, and many times they get relieved. Many times actually we want to give solution pretty early and we want to give the biggest solution to a person who's like a kid at this stage. He cannot handle that. So just be there with this person, feed him or her a lot of prasadam, and by genuinely caring about this person will be open to listen to your advices sooner or later. Is that okay? We cannot immediately give him all these philosophical arguments. Just one example comes to my mind. Raman was a big Pandit. Raman was not a small person. He was a big Pandit. He knew the Vedas and Shastra. But to that Ravan, when Lord Shiva even came and tried to convince him about whom we are fighting with, Ravan was not convinced. Kumbhakarna tried, Vibhishan tried, so many people tried. In the case of Duryodhana also, Vyasadev tried, Atri Muni tried, and Dhritarashtra also externally tried, Bhishma Pitama tried. He could not take, not that they were not knower of these knowledge, they were knower of Vedic knowledges. You listen the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Asuras and Devatas are doing the churning of milk ocean. What Asuras are saying, we are also the Putra, we are also in the family of Kashyap Muni. We also know the Vedas. It's written in Bhagavatam. We also know the Vedas. How come you are giving the pooch of Sap? You're giving the tail of Sap, which is very inauspicious. We will grab the mouth. And Krishna says, okay, go for the mouth. So many times when the knower of the knowledge will make mistakes, and you can't immediately argue with them, again, with good intentions, with all these shlokas. So I would say no shloka, just genuine care to them and give them prasadam. That works in many cases.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mahavasu Prabhu. Very nice explanation of this verse. Let's move forward to 48, where I was. Rupam Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So 48 says, Prabhu, perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. So till 47, we discussed about how you should not get attached to your karma and your karma phala and these things. 48 then turns up and talks about how you should do your karma, staying equipoised without worrying too much about the results. Ultimately, it also talks about your attachment. We touched upon the siddhis and asiddhis, that if you're equipoised, those things don't impact your life, and you can stay in Krishna consciousness. That's all, Prabhu.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. So basically 247 to 48 are related. So 247 was saying, Ma phaleshu kadachana, don't be consumed by the karma phala. And now he's saying, Arjun man say, but karma phala can be siddhi or asiddhi. I can get success or failure. So Krishna is saying, siddhaya asiddhayo samo bhutva. You should become sama. You should become equipoised. No matter what you get, be equipoised in either situations. And then samatvam, if you are like that, if you are equipoised, yoga uchyate, you're situated in what? Yoga. And this is what Krishna is recommending. And I said, I think I said other way as well. So if you want to be situated in yoga, be fixed in Krishna consciousness, what you have to do, become equipoised. Because this world will offer you dvanda all the time. You cannot come out of that dvanda. So let the dvanda come as per our destiny. Sometimes success, failures will come. Sometimes praises will come. Sometimes insults will come. All these things will come. But internally, externally, our Acharya says you do what you need to do externally. But internally, you're equipoised. It's okay. It's okay. It's a part of my life. It will happen. Don't get disturbed about those things. Keep progressing in one thing, which is to achieve love of Krishna as sincerely as possible in those situations. Externally, do what you need to do. Okay. Thank you. One more word actually is important. Kurkarmani sangam tyaktva. Sangam refers to the asakti, attachment. What we have to do with attachment? Grab more attachment? No, give up the attachment to what? Karma phala. I have done my duty. It says, once the arrow is shot from the bow, can you retrieve that arrow back? It's gone. Something spoken from the mouth is gone. It's gone, is gone. So whatever endeavor you had to put, he said you put the endeavor before shooting the arrow. Once the arrow is gone, it's gone. You have done it. Now don't worry about it. Is going to the target or not to the target. You have done it. So in doing, you must do a lot of endeavor. Like in the exams, you must do a lot of endeavor. Bhakti Maharaj was saying very nicely to some students, I heard in a lecture, students were saying, Maharaj, that time he was not a Maharaj, but he's telling this past time. So Maharaj, there's a lot of studies we have to study. Can we study less and study more Shastra? We love Shastra, this and that. You know what Maharaj said? You cannot get less marks in the last semester. He is addressing students of IIT or other colleges. You cannot get less marks. You have to work hard. You have to work hard. You cannot quit your duty, because if you get less marks, people will blame Prabhupada and Krishna consciousness for those less marks. Oh, last semester you got 80%. Now you only got 65%. Oh, because you're becoming a devotee. Maharaj said you cannot put Krishna down. You have to work hard, because devotees work very, very hard. You can get 85%, not 65%. Because the blame will go to Prabhupada or Krishna or you being a devotee. He said, you want to set up a right example or wrong example? So set up a right example. That means you work actually harder. You work harder. But how do you achieve both the ends? You don't waste your time. Maharaj said, you manage your time in such a way, you study hard and you be a devotee hard as well. So devotees don't waste time. And that's where the key is. There's nothing else. We also have 24 hours a day. One story which Gauranga Prabhu shared, I'll share. So he was teaching in some college somewhere. No, actually he was not, it was Bhakti Maharaj. Bhakti Maharaj was teaching in some college somewhere. So one day, and Gauranga Prabhu was a student that time when Maharaj used to visit the IIT. So Gauranga Prabhu says, one day I brought my friend as a visitor, because he was going to the program, and his friend also came with him one day. And this friend was not very good in the studies, but not very good. And he really liked the devotee, started becoming a devotee and practicing and reading and all that. Somehow or other, what happened, in the whole semester, Gauranga Prabhu was saying only 2 to 3 students will come for the class, for Maharaj class, Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj class. But he will come every week, very sincerely, he will spend time and he will guide and all that. But the whole semester, only 2 to 3 students came. At the end of the semester, this guy, Gauranga Prabhu's friend, who was not a very good scholarly person, he got very good marks. And next time, 20 devotees came for the program. So Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj said, what happened today? Why I am seeing from 2 to 20? And Gauranga Prabhu explained to Maharaj, because this guy has achieved 70% of the marks. So everyone got so inspired with his marks that if he can get 70%, pura laddad hai. He's not very intelligent. If he can get 70%, we will also go to Krishna conscious program and we will also achieve 70% marks. To get the extra marks, they are coming for the program. So the point is we have to set the right example, which inspires the world, not the bad example. Bad example will automatically happen anyway. In our course of journey, we will make mistakes. Everyone make mistakes. But the point here is we should endeavor hard. We should endeavor hard, do the duty hard. But once we have given the exam, for example, okay, whatever happens, happens. And then we prepare for the next one. So Sangam Tyaktva. Then you got 70% or you got less, that we'll see. Raghavi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
It's 249. Oh Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. So basically, Krishna is telling Arjuna that don't worry about the action, don't worry about your activities and all. Just keep your mind, surrender yourself to Krishna, and because that is the main right course of action for any living entity. Only misers will be worrying about how to enjoy the fruits and all, because if you keep enjoying your own fruits, it will entangle you into the life birth, in the cycle of birth and death. So that's why he says that everything should be done in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of Krishna, but not for our own satisfaction.
Yeah. Thank you, Bhakti. That's the gist. Just 2 words from the top we can also take. Durena avaram karma. Avaram karma refers to inauspicious karma. So we know many times, if not all the time, what is auspicious for us, what is inauspicious for us. So duren. So stay away from avaram karma. Any inauspicious activities, sinful activities. My Guru Maharaj always says, if you want a luxurious life, that's all right, but don't perform sin. Don't perform sin. Don't exploit others. Don't cheat others. And whatever. So don't do sin. And without doing sin, if you want to increase your a big house or a big car, that's okay. That's okay. But don't get into sinful activities, because the result will come. So this verse, Krishna is saying, Dured hi avaram karma. So varam, vardhan, auspicious karma, avaram is inauspicious karma. And what you should do, buddhi yoga dhananjaya. Use your buddhi, use your intelligence for what? Yoga, buddha, sharanam and vicha. Take shelter of buddhi yoga. And Prabhupada writes, surrender unto Lord, because karpana phalhetva, because only karpana, only misers work for the phal, fruits. And opposite to karpana is what? Brahmana. So Brahmana is not working just for the fruits, he is working to please the Lord. Priya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, I just wanted to add that the word miserly is not stingy in this context. It's more like someone who wants to enjoy the fruits of the not being stingy. Like,
You're cutting off a little bit, Mataji.
It's miser. The word miser is emphasized as someone who is wanting to enjoy the fruits, rather than being miser, like a stingy or.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's right, Mataji. Yeah. So this is not a physical or financial miser which we are talking. We are talking this person who is always after the karma phala, and he can be a rich person, but he's not very rich. because he's thinking about the phala all the time. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, let's move to the 50th verse. So I'm going back into the cycle down. Kanishka Mataji, Hare Krishna. Okay, I'm not sure whether she's available. Kanika Mataji, you want to do that? 250?
Yes, Prabhu. So a man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is art of all work. So I think, Prabhu, here the important words are jahatiha, which means basically in this life, actually we can be rid of, in this life, actually we can strive for yoga. So jahatiha, so the other word is kaushal. So kaushal is the art, the expertise. So someone who's actually situated in yoga and he's an expert or kaushal or perfect in the karma and work that he does, if he's engaged in buddhi yoga, so buddhi yukto, he's a kaushal person, he's an expert of the art of yoga, and he can actually in this life, which is jahatiha, ubhe sukrata dushkrite, can get rid of the bad and good reactions. Therefore, tasmad yogasya yug jasva, one should be engaged in that yoga, which is buddhi yoga. The buddhi is the first word which goes with that yoga.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice.
Sorry, Prabhu.
No, that's okay. Vaishnav is helping you. He's telling you a little bit pieces. No, thank you, Mata. Very nice. You have translated very well. And this is how actually we should try to learn the verses. If we know the meaning of the words as much as possible, and you can look at Prabhupada's synonym. I also look at synonyms. Some words you will know, and then you will relish the words, and you'll get the words meaning very, very quickly. So very nice. So as Mataji said, iha word is very important in this life. We don't have to wait to leave this body and then do something very wonderful. No, while you are in this body right now, you can get rid of ubhe. Ubhe refers to the both sukrat, good action, good reactions, and dushkrate, bad reaction in this life itself. This is actually very strong verse, very hope-giving verse. It's not Krishna consciousness is not something which will happen only after life. No, it happens within life when you start. We'll read in 9th chapter, Raja Vidya Rajagoyam Pavitram Idam Utmam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susukhum Kartum Abhyam. It gives you susukha right now. And we all experience that in many ways. You know, once you go to Mangala Arati, for example, you are doing some service to Krishna's for Krishna's pleasure, you will see a real joy comes in the heart. A real joy comes in the heart. That joy is not present in the external activities when we gain something, when we achieve something bigger, or award or something. But when we serve Krishna, we serve devotees, a devotee is happy, a spiritual master is happy, you really feel joy in your heart. And I'm sure all of us in different situations, different activities of Krishna consciousness, we would have experienced that. It happens. It happens. Tasmad yogai ijjasva. So initially, I think he said yuddha ijjasva. If you remember verse 38, 39, he said engage in yuddha. Now here he's saying tasmad, therefore yogai ijjasva. You should engage in what? Yoga. And as Mata said, we are talking about buddhi yoga, which is connecting with the Lord. Yoga karma sukosham, because once you're situated in yoga, that is the perfection of the art. That's the expertise of the art. And Prabhupada writes, which is the art of all work, because devotees are able to perform the work expertly. Others are not. Sorry to say that. They may be very so-called perfect in their field, but what's the meaning of their perfection? As Prabhupada said, lots of zeros. Someone is, 5 PhDs. There are 5 zeros. Someone is a big, wealthy billionaire man. It's just a lot of zeros. But once you add Krishna to it, even if you have 1 0 or 2 0, that has value. So even a devotee who has some skill to please Krishna, he is actually expert. Others are not so expert. Okay, we'll move to the next verse, I think, which is the last one, 251. Who else was present last week? Nidhi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead. So in this verse, Manisha is able to control your mind.
Gachanti will go Padam to that platform where Anamayam. Anamayam refers to Prabhupada says without misery. So there is another platform. So this is one of the first verses in Bhagavad Gita which hints, where Krishna is hinting towards another pada. He's not clearly saying special word and I am the one and all that, which he will say later. But here he is saying there is another pada, there is another platform where you can go exist without any misery. So there's a hint in this particular verse. And the first line is very important. Karmajam buddhi yukta hi. So karmajam ja refers to Janma, which is born. So karma, which is born out of what? Buddhi yukta. So karma, which is born from buddhi yukta. That means Krishna conscious activities, you can say. Phalam tekta manishana. And manishana, the people who are able to control the mind are able to give up the phala of those activities. So by thus engaging in devotion service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of the work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries. Okay, so we have done the revision. Let's move to today's discussion. 252. I see Manish Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Manmohan Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So
would you like to read 252?
Sure, Prabhuji. Yada te moha kalilam.
Yada te moha kalilam.
Buddhir vyati tarishyati.
Buddhir vyati tarishyati.
Tada guntasi nirvedam.
Tada gantasi nirvedam.
Shrotavyasya shutasya cha.
Shrotavyasya shutasya cha.
When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard.
Yeah, so this is also one of the very nice verses. Every verse in this series is very beautiful. So yada te moha kalilam. So kalilam refers to the forest. Moha refers to illusion. So basically Krishna is saying yada te moha kalilam. So moha kalilam refers to the dense forest of illusion. We all know what Krishna is referring here. Buddhir vyati tarishyati. So you will go across. Where you will go across? Moha kalilam, dense forest of illusion. So we are all situated at the moment where? In an illusory world or in a real world? In an illusory world. Now this illusion is not that Mayavadi's illusion. So we don't agree with that. So when we say illusory world here, illusory word here refers to not, see Mayavadi says this is all illusion, this is all false. We don't say that. We say this is not false, this is temporary. So that's physical existence we are talking. But the word illusion here refers to our hopes in the material world. They are illusory. What is our hope in the material world? That this material world one day, sooner or later, will give me happiness. Is that correct? We all hope that. So this is called illusory hope. This is called illusion. One of the definition of illusion is what is good for us, we don't agree with that. What is not good for us, we really want that. Many times, do we like Krishna conscious activities? Someone tells you, Prabhuji, you should get up at 2 o'clock, chant your rounds. My Guru Maharaj always recommends, that's the recommendation by Guru Maharaj, you should always finish your 16 rounds before Mangala Aarti. That is called first class rounds. After Mangala Aarti is second class. And after Darshan Aarti is third class. What to speak when you're chanting at 9 o'clock in the night? Maharaj said, they are not nice rounds. He said a word, I can't say that. So that's the standard. Now, how many of us would follow that standard on a daily basis? Sometimes, okay, once in a while on Janmashtami, we get up at 1 o'clock, chant 32 rounds before Mangala Aarti, but so this is called moha. We love our sleep. Why do we love our sleep? Maharaj says, because sleep gives you a taste. It has a rasa, it has a taste. We love that taste so much. So even if you tell, you will get something very special, but you cannot quit sleep. Most of the time, we are not able to quit our sleep. So this is called moha. And what is good for us, we don't like it. Many times you advise, like Ujjwala Samataji was just saying, she gave some good advice, quoting from Shastra, to this particular person, but he's not able to come out of his mindset. This is called illusion, because our illusion is material world is everything. This is all in all, and this will give me happiness. So what you will cross over, you will not cross over the material world. We're not talking physical here. What he's saying, buddhir vyati tarishyati, your buddhi will cross over, your intelligence, which is stuck in the material world, is stuck in the moha. And what is the moha again? That this material world will give me happiness. You will cross over that. That means devotees are not living in false illusory land. You understand? Devotees are living in real world. This is reality of the world. This is full of dvanda. Sometimes some happiness will be there. Sometimes some distress will be there. Sometimes some love, some benefit will come. Sometimes hani will come. Sometimes you lose some things. This is the way it is. And devotees are not living in false illusion, in false hopes that tomorrow I will be happy by something material. You can be happy. It's not, you cannot be happy, but you cannot be happy with the material attainment of something. That's what it is. And that is called false hope. That's called moha kalilam. And we are all, the degrees will vary, but we are all consumed by those false hopes, isn't it? We're all trying to establish ourselves in the material world. Kuch karke dikhana hai. I will show to the world how great I am. Huh? But when you come back to hum hoge kamyab ek din, we will be successful one day, believe me. But Shastra says, believe me, you will never be successful. That means you'll never be satisfied in this material world. Huh? You can be temporarily satisfied, temporarily happy, but your all these hopes and dreams will come to an end one day. And this is what is referred to as moha kalilam, forest of illusion. Our buddhi, our intelligence stuck here. And if you take shelter of Krishna, what will happen? Your buddhi will cross over. Huh? So your body will stay, you can stay, your family and your wealth and all those things can stay, but your intelligence is not staying in the illusion. My family is everything, my wealth is everything. Prahlad Maharaj calls this family and wealth and whatever other connections which may have for durashrayaha, false shelters. And people have so much faith in these false shelters. And sooner or later, all the false shelters leave us. Huh? Wealth leaves us, family leaves us, health leaves us, neighbors leaves us, everything leaves us. Huh? Because this is how it is. So devotee is not consumed by these things. And tada gantasi nirvedam, what you will become? You will become nirveda. Prabhupada translates as carelessness in his synonyms. And in the translation, he says, become indifferent. You become indifferent. So when happiness comes to a devotee, our devotee is super excited, it's all right. When an insult comes, devotee is super depressed, it's all right. So you become indifferent. Tada gantasi nirvedam shotavyasya sutasya. Shotavyasya refers to what you have heard in the past. What you have heard in the past through the advertisement of the world. If you enter into IIT, you get a very good job. You get a lot of money. You'll be very happy. How many IITians can say this? Any IITians here? I'm not sure. I'm not from IIT. So just by getting a high degree, a high job does not guarantee you the happiness for the rest of the life. I didn't like it. Hare Krishna, something happening. Anyway, so all these big degrees which the world offers, all these big temptations that the world offers will not make us happy. No one can guarantee happiness just based on those things. But what Krishna consciousness can guarantee, happiness may not be right now, immediately may not be perceived with our gross senses, but it will guarantee the happiness which you can perceive through your senses in this life right now. So Shrotavyasya, Shrutasya. Shrotavyasya refers to the past. Shrutasya, what you're going to hear. What advertisements you're going to see tomorrow, you know. Whenever you see advertisement, they always give you a hope. If you buy this watch, you'll become very happy. If you buy this jacket, you buy the shoes, you buy the car, you buy the house, you'll become very happy. But after buying the watch, do you buy another watch? Definitely. There's a new model coming, huh? You buy Samsung 10 and then tomorrow Samsung Galaxy 11 is there. I'm not sure what's the latest model of Samsung right now, but I'm sure if this company stopped making the model, then company will be shut down. So they say S11 is the best thing in the world today. Please buy S11. And as soon as you S11, after 6 months or 4 months, you'll have S12, S13. Huh? So they give you hope. You'll be happy by purchasing this product. You do this, you become very happy. You come to Honolulu, enjoy at the beach. You arrive at Honolulu this rainy day. There's so much rain, you can't even get out of the room of your hotel. So what enjoyment you receive. And by the time the rain stops, your holidays are finished. Get out. go back to your country, go back to your work. So all these advertisements, your intelligence will cross over this. Sonia Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I had a question, like when you mentioned that Maharaji was telling the first class people and the second class people with Prabhuji, I don't know about others, but I am a very struggling, trying to be a devotee, but I don't know, I'm very far from that. But for a person, we all are, our main purpose is to please Krishna. And we all are trying our best in whatever way we could. And doing 16 rounds with struggle, not like, it's not an easy thing for us.
No.
So are we...
No one.
So Prabhuji, are we, and the other day in the other class as well, you mentioned that that person became Brahma Rakshas because of having more offenses in chanting rather than, having the being pious or having purification. So for a person like us, are we, that actually scared me, that while doing chanting, am I creating more offense, and am I actually not pleasing Krishna? Rather than pleasing Krishna, I'm having more offenses in my life. So what should be done for a devotee, for a person who is struggling and trying to do 16 rounds, or for a devotee who is doing giving less time, maybe doing 4 or 5 rounds, but doing it with full devotion and full concentration? What is better, Prabhuji?
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Very nice question. Very common question. We all struggle with our 16 rounds. What we speak of 16 quality rounds, which is a very big thing. So basically, Mataji, your question is whether to do 16 rounds in terms of number or do 4 or 5 quality rounds. Okay, so there are two things, Mataji. Actually, it's a whole topic in itself. Okay, we'll just say few principal points here. So first thing first, Prabhupada said at different occasions, he gave different answers. One of the answers he gave, you must do Sankhya, you must do counting of 16 rounds. First, quality will come later. Even Radhanath Maharaj also said the same thing. Although Sankhya, just counting is not the goal, but start, if you can, obviously, you start from 1 round, 2 round, and 16. 16 is an important number. Prabhupada said that. And what are you doing? You're chanting Krishna's name. And if you are sincere in your heart, like, sincerity does not mean you are out of imperfections. It doesn't mean that. Sincerity means I want to become a good devotee. That's the sincerity. So our feelings, our goal is not to achieve something material out of this chanting, and that is categorized as sincere devotee. So sincere devotee is not out of imperfection, but he's trying to become a better devotee in whatever way he or she can. So first thing, 16 is important. You must do, because what is the guarantee tomorrow if you chant 4 rounds and then that also not come with quality, that also you will struggle. What's the guarantee there, right? So you'll chant 4 rounds, you'll say, Prabhu, I'm struggling with 4 as well. Can we chant 1 round? So if we follow the instructions of our Acharya, their mercy comes with that. Prabhupada also said one thing which comes to my mind. One devotee didn't want to go down to Prabhupada, and he said to Prabhupada openly, he said, Prabhupada, I don't feel like going down. Prabhupada said, go down first, feeling will come later. Go down first, feeling will come later. So we should follow some instructions of our seniors as it is, because it's sort of universal. It's for everyone. Sannyasi chant 16 rounds. They chant more as well, but it's a common instruction for all of us. So we do that. And if we do sincerely, mercy will come and quality will come. And how the quality will come on for an individual on a daily basis, that's sort of customized topic. We just try to do time management properly, and we try to balance our life in such a way that we can give enough time to Krishna. We should not struggle every day. Some days will be heavy, some days will be less heavy, but every day should not become heavy. Third thing which I would like to say, which Chaitanya Charan Prabhu said, very nice thing. He said you should, whenever you do something, you should try to understand why are you doing that. If you know the purpose, an intelligent person always know the purpose of the activity, then he can do the things nicely. He gave one nice example. If I ask you to carry a bag, 20 kilo bag from this destination from A to B, for example, right? I ask you to carry a bag, 20 kilo bag. You have to carry for half a kilometer. You'll say, by God, I can't carry this 20 kilo bag. I can hardly walk 20 meters with that. But if I tell you this bag carries pure gold, that you can have once you arrive to B. How many of you would carry it? I will. Be honest. It is gold which we are carrying, which we can own just after having little struggle. So similarly, we don't know what we are carrying in this on our tongue, on this material tongue, on the flesh, which we have, a little flesh we have in our mouth, but what we are carrying in our tongue, the holy name of Lord, which is non-different from the Lord. If we chant sincerely and with this understanding, I am carrying supreme personality of Godhead on our tongue. He's dancing on our tongue right now. He's so important. There's nothing more important than him when I'm chanting his name. If we have some feeling for that, if we know the importance of Lord and Lord's love for us and what this Ram Nam can do to us, Mataji and Prabhuji's will stop everything, you will start chanting nicely. Because we can, I'm just giving an example of gold, but we cannot compare Lord with the gold, but I'm just giving one example. If we know what we are doing, there is no way we can stop doing it. And Rupa Goswami says, I cannot stop. I need millions of tongues to chant. How is he saying that? Because he has so much taste. Pratha Maharaj is saying, I need 10,000 years so that I can listen the Krishna Katha. We have no interest or very little interest. So once we get the taste, we cannot get out. Alcoholic, sorry to say, super alcoholic or super drug person, can he come out of that alcohol easily? No, he gets so much taste. We are like, bro, what are you doing? You know, you're wasting your life and wasting your money. He just can't come out. He can't come. He has so much taste. Similarly, a devotee, so much taste for Krishna. What to speak of 16 rounds, he said, you know, I can chant unlimited number of rounds. Is that okay, Mataji?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice example. And again, once again, got motivation to do chanting more sincerely. Yes, but I was just a bit scared that, you know, because I'm doing it in after work in the evening, am I having more offenses rather than?
No, don't worry, Mata. Just do evening, morning, whatever time you get, Ram Nam will always uplift you. And none of these devotees are making offenses. Don't worry about the offenses so much. Offenses definition is quite different than what we perceive. Actually, we have to understand the word offense. Not every moment you take, I go left. Someone say, oh, Prabhuji, you're offended me. I go left, I go right. I sit here. Prabhu is offense. No. That's not offense. That's not offense. Like offense means a simple definition I can say, which my Guru Maharaj said while I was serving lunch prasadam time. He said, when you like a plant to put a devotee down, you literally conspire against a devotee. You plan to put a devotee down, like, you know, I don't like this devotee, so I'm trying to hurt him, trying to pull him down, trying to, you know, say bad words about this devotee in a community. That is offense, one definition. Huh? So we're not doing those things. Huh? Don't worry about little things. Just chant Ram Nam. Ram Nam will always help. Always help. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, "Khaite suite yatha tatha nam lay." So when you are eating, when you are sleeping, you should yatha tatha, jaise taise, somehow or other, chant the holy name of Krishna. Chant the holy name of Krishna. Chant the holy name of Krishna. Huh? For now, this should be our perspective. Don't worry about the offenses. We'll talk about offenses in the last stage of Bhakti Shastri, NOD chapter 8.
Sure. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Priya Bhakti wants to add something.
Oh, Prabhuji, thank you for that explanation of the 16 rounds. I also had something similar in mind, but actually wanted to also ask Prabhuji, with when we chanting, sometimes there are times when devotees are, or like we are using the clicker. So Prabhuji, can you elaborate or also give some light into when is the time, or when can we just use the clicker and just not use the beads, or what is the right what is the right explanation for that sort of thing? Because I've seen people, devotees, are like using the clicker as well. So
It's a little bit out of our Bhagavad Gita topic, but I'll say very quickly because you have asked. So our ISKCON, which means Prabhupada never gave clicker in the initiation ceremony. Have you ever seen a video where Prabhupada gives a clicker to a person? So from this day onwards, you are, you know, Krishna Das and have this clicker and chant 16 rounds. So clickers are not the way to chant, to be very honest. Huh? Now, when we can use clicker, and that's explanation also given, once you have finished your 16 rounds, you can have more Krishna Nam, Ram Nam on the clicker. Clicker is not the way to go. No sannyasis prefer that. The only person who can take the clicker is even after 16 rounds. You're going out on a walk or something. You want to chant some extra, but don't want to carry the beads. That's all right. Or if you're not a devotee yet, the only way this person can be inspired to come into devotional realm is to take a clicker, because he's a bit shy or she's a bit shy. Okay, Mataji or Prabhuji, start with the clicker. But clicker is not the way. Clicker is not beads is very, very, very significant. We're gonna have a whole 1 hour seminar. What does bead mean? We actually don't know. Many times actually devotees don't know why are they chanting and how they are chanting. We should know these things. What are the beads meaning? The beads are, we're touching the feet of the gopis and asking their blessings. You go to your family, your father or mother, you touch their feet. Why do you do that? To get their blessings. Now you're taking those blessings of those beads 16,108 times. You're taking the blessings of gopis, which are the very dear servant of Krishna. Actually, you're coming out of those blessings. You're just chanting Ram, 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 which is okay. So when you're chanting Ram Nam with the blessings of gopis and you're chanting Ram Nam without the blessings of gopis, which one is better? We should judge what is better. Then grab clicker or bead, up to you. What benefit you just by chanting Ram, you can get $1 million benefit, or you get 1 rupee benefit. What is more intelligent? So go and touch the feet of the gopis. They are the gopis receiving the bead given by Prabhupada. So or his representatives. So we should definitely chant on the beads. Tulsi bead. Tulsi is a devotee. Gopis are devotees. We are touching Tulsi with the hand at least for 2 hours a day. Amazing. We have this Kantimala in all of us. We have it, right? Why do we have it? So again, we should read the importance of 16 rounds, beads, bead bag, Kantimala. Once we know the importance, then we have no shame, go with the beads anywhere and everywhere. I've seen Binay Prabhu, going with tilak and beads at the work. There's no shame, Now it may not be possible the tilak everywhere, that's all right. But beads, no compromise. Beads means beads, no clicker. And I say 2 ways, after 16 or under 16, then you can. A very, very new person, said, okay, I'll try 1 round on a clicker. Okay, you try it. But I prefer personally from day 1, you should have beads. Because once you get the clicker, it's very hard to leave the clicker. Beads are much, much higher version, much, much higher version. It's all about mercy in this moment. If you're not getting the mercy on our own endeavor, it's very hard to make back to Godhead. Very, very. We are all mercy cases. We are not intelligent cases. I am not. I'm a Buddhu case. I'm a gone case. So I am a total mercy case. I'm sure many are looking for the mercy. So if you're looking for the mercy, you're leaving the opportunity by leaving the beads. Simple as that. Simple as that. So much extra mercy Tulsi Rani is giving, gopis are giving, devotees are giving. And we leave that mercy and we just stay on a very, very little realm. So not very intelligent, I would say.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. And also just, so if someone is not, health is not allowing, and that person is...
if the hands are not well, what can be said?
Yeah.
But if hands are well, put the bead on.
Okay, sure,
explain the importance. We sometimes we try someone to convince based on just because I like it. Don't do that. Explain the importance of that thing, which this person can understand. That's it. Everyone is intelligent. Everyone is intelligent. They will grab. Everyone loves money, isn't it? They grab money. They will not leave the $100 note on the street. They will not leave it. So we don't know the value of this money. That's what the problem is. Once we know the value of this money, Ram Nam Anmol, there's no material thing which we can attach with this. Once we know the value of Ram Nam, then taking Ram Nam is no problem. And my Guru Maharaj also said one thing, I'll say it last. He said, you should try to chant more than 16 rounds. Then you get taste in 16 rounds. So try to chant more rounds. Try to chant at least 1 or 2 extra rounds. Whenever possible, sometimes 4 extra rounds, sometimes double the rounds, 50 rounds. You should chant. Because once we are chanting higher number of rounds, then chanting 16 will be easy. If we always chant 16, it will always be difficult. Some days, Ekadashi, Sunday, Saturday, Monday, whatever works for individual, chant extra round, chant extra round. 16 will not be hard at all, at all. Start 32 rounds. This Ekadashi, chant 32. What's the big deal? Make yourself available for all your prescribed duties plus 32 rounds. It's possible, very much possible. One day, make yourself, do all the tasks a day before as much as possible. Arrange other people to do your duties. I am chanting 32 rounds. So anyway, try different things are there. You can have a whole seminar on that. Okay, let's move forward. Thank you, Priya Mataji, for asking that question, and Sonia Mataji. So forest of illusion, which we try to cross, 253. Now, who has not read as yet? Vinay Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Shruti viprati-pannate.
Shruti viprati-pannate.
Yada isthasati nishala.
Yada isthasati nishala.
Samadho achala buddhi.
Samadho achala buddhis.
Tada yogam avashnasi.
Tada yogam avapsyasi.
Hare Krishna.
Translation.
When your mind is no longer distributed by the flowery language of the Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the trace of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Shruti viprati pannate yada isthasati nishala samadha achala buddhis tada yogam avapsyasi. So this is a similar verse if you read the translation which Krishna has used in 242-43. When your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Veda. Yamimam pushtam vacham. You remember that verse 42? Similar wordings Krishna is using here, flowery language of the Vedas. So basically saying, don't be attracted towards the flowery language of Vedas, that just by doing this, you'll go to Indraloka, Amravati, you'll enjoy, lots of gardens and Nandanandan and Apsaras and all that. That's not what a devotee is looking for. And if you're looking, not looking for that, Samadhava Achala Buddhis. So Achala Buddhis is the word, keyword in this verse you can take. So buddhi should become achala. Chala means chalna, to go here and there. Right now, our buddhi, our intelligence is very, very chanchal. Chanchalam bhimana Krishna paramati balvadram. You'll read in 6th chapter. So our mind is very, very chanchal. Buddhi is chanchal. Ye bhi karna hai, wo bhi karna. I want to do this, I want to do that, and achieve this, achieve that, and this is right, this is wrong. So many disturbances in our mind. Achala buddhis. Achala buddhis is recommended. Achala buddhis means samadha achala buddhis. Your buddhi should become achala. Achala means here fixed in samadhi. Samadhi here means fixed in Krishna consciousness. When your buddhi is fixed, tada yogam avapsasi. Avapsasi refers to avapnoti. You will attain. What you will attain? Yogam. So your buddhi should become achala. Buddhi should become fixed. Again related to the previous, yadate muhkallam buddhi priti tarishati. So your buddhi should cross over the illusory dense forest of the illusion, which is the word, and should become situated in the feet of Krishna. There are two things here. So first you should cross over the illusory dense forest of illusion, that this world is not going to offer me any eternal happiness at all. This world just doesn't have it. I give this example many times. You go to Myers and looking for potato. And you go to the store manager, where's the potato here? Where is the spinach here? Where's the cauliflower here? And you'll say, Mr. XYZ, you are in the wrong store. Go to Kohl's to get your potato. You go to Kohl's and you say, oh, where is the loudspeaker? I want to buy a watch today. I want to buy a mobile today. You say, go to Myers or David Jones or somewhere. You're in a wrong store. So this store, Dukkhalayam Shashvatam, which is Krishna has labeled it on the top, does not offer that eternal happiness. It just doesn't have it. It cannot offer you. So why are we looking? Because we belong to the spiritual world. We have that tendency. So samadhava achala buddhi. So your buddhi will cross over the illusory material world, and I will do what I need to do. I'll do my prescribed duties, but this world has nothing much to offer. So all the fake hopes and fake dreams should be stopped. We should become achala buddhis in Krishna consciousness, and then you can be situated in trance constantly. Okay, let's move forward. Who has not read as yet? Samantir Mataji, Hare Krishna. Would you like to read one verse?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Ji, Prabhuji. It's gone, Prabhuji.
No, yes.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Sthita Prajanasya ka bhasha.
Sthit Pragyasya ka bhasha.
Smadhi satasya keshava.
Samadhistasya keshava.
Sthita kim prabhasheta.
Sthita kim prabhasheta.
Kim Asita Vajeta Kim.
Thank you, Maisha. You read better than mom.
True, Prabhuji.
Sorry. Translation.
Ji, Prabhuji. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transtance? How does he speak and what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk?"
Yeah. So let's go back to the PDF file. You can look at the PDF file now. So now why I was showing this PDF file earlier as well. So we know which sections we have covered or which we are in. So right now we have just covered Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga, which is from 38 to 53. And Krishna has been speaking for a long time now. Arjun gives a little pause here and asks a question, which we see here on the screen. Now this is the next section of Sthit Dhir Muni. Okay. So which we'll talk in 1 second. What does it mean? So this goes from 254 to 72 till the end of this particular chapter. Okay. So now Krishna has spoken about 3 things so far, which we all know. He's spoken about Jnana. He's spoken about the knowledge of the soul, which went from 20 verses to 211 to 230. And that sort of defeated the argument of compassion. Then he spoke Karma Kanda, talking about the enjoyment. So he said, you will still enjoy. If you win, you will still enjoy. Do your duty, you will still enjoy. No problem. And then he spoke about the Buddhi Yoga, which we just finished this section till 53, which basically countered the argument of the sinful reactions coming to him. And also Krishna is saying, look for the eternal, don't look for the temporary. If we have to put a theme there, we can put that theme there. So look for the eternal, which is for all of us as well. Now, Arjun is saying to Krishna, where is my cursor here? So far, Arjun is sort of curious. And what was Arjun's confusion? So far, what Arjun has one confusion. What is the confusion of Arjuna? Should I fight or not fight, right? Basically, that's what he's looking forward to. One answer. So Krishna, if you look at 237, 238, has already instructed Arjuna, fight. Remember 2 verses, 237. He said clearly fight. But after 238, when he started a Buddhi Yoga section, he's talking about Durena hi avaram karma. So from avaram karma, for inauspicious karma, you stay detached. That's what Krishna says. So by all these verses, 15 verses almost, Arjuna is thinking actually fighting is a avaram karma. Fighting is not auspicious karma. And fighting involves killing, and I'm killing my grandfather and teachers and all that. So it's inauspicious activities. Now Arjuna is confused again. So although Krishna has clearly instructed Arjuna in 237, 238 to fight, but now Arjuna is again confused. And Arjuna is saying, oh, if I have to use my buddhi, and buddhi means I have to not do inauspicious activities, so he's back to 0 now. You understand the flow of the chapter? And he's asking questions. Actually, you're asking me to use buddhi, but the person who has buddhi, so he's not directly asking Krishna, should I fight or not fight? What he's basically asking, you are saying use buddhi yoga, become situated in yoga all the time. That's what you said. Now tell me an example, because once we listen the principle, we don't understand much. We want to listen the example. So Arjuna is asking Krishna, based on the principle which you have just spoken, tell me a person who has got all this, how does he speak? So Arjuna is asking 4 questions in this particular verse. 254, Arjuna is asking 4 questions. We'll read those four questions. Ka bhasha. Bhasha refers to anyone? Bhasha, what is your bhasha? Hindi bhasha, Tamil bhasha, Telugu bhasha? It's language. We can say language. Bhasha means language. So Sthit Pragyasya, Sthit Pragyasya refers to the person who is situated in Pragya. What does Pragya mean? Okay, so we have different words in Shastra. We have Smriti, we have Buddhi, we have Pragya, we have Viveka, we have Mati. They all refers to one thing, but they also refers to different things. I was listening lecture of Sarbham Prabhu. He explained a little bit. I'll just repeat what Prabhuji said. So he said, Smriti refers to our past intelligence. Someone said his Smriti is very nice. Smriti refers to past intelligence. He's very Smritipan. Whatever he heard from the Guru, he remembers that. He says Buddhi refers to our present intelligence. We say he is Buddhiman or he is Buddhu. Buddhiman means he's very intelligent, and Buddha means not very intelligent. So Buddhi refers to present. And he says Mati refers to our future vision. Itir Mati Upakalpita Vitirshna. So Bishop Pitama used that word Mati. My Mati, I want to, he says, my Mati is like my daughter. I want to marry my daughter to you, Krishna. So it refers to the vision. So Buddhi, which devotees have for future. And Pragya is one who is firmly situated in that. So isthit pragyasya, his buddhi is firmly situated. Isthit means isthiti, situation. Pragya means buddhi. Buddhi is situated. So once buddhi, pragya is situated, Prabhupada translates as isthit pragyasa as one who is situated in Krishna consciousness, fixed in Krishna consciousness. So isthit pragyasa is not moving. So he's a very fixed devotee, you can say. So this particular person, which is called by Arjuna as Isthit Pragyasya, Ka Bhasha, what is his language? Bhasha refers to language. Samadhistasya Keshav. So one who is situated in samadhi, in trance. Samadhis istha. Istha again refers to the situation. Isthadiha, one who is like that. Kim Prabhashet, that how does he speak? Kimasit. Asit refers to the sitting down. How does he sit? Vrajet. So we have Vraj. Vraj means where Vraj has many meanings. One of the meaning of Vraja is where cows are constantly moving, where the movements are there. We see in Damodar Astak as well. Is Vraj word is used. Vraj means ghumna, jana, to go, to wander around. That's called Vraj. So this person, Ka Bhasha, what is his language? Kim Prabhase, how does he speak? His manner of his speech, you may be from a Chinese background or Asian background, whatever. So your bhasha is one thing, the way you speak is one thing. Some people are very soft spoken. I'm remembering Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. He is such a nice speaker. But it's just a magnetic personality. You just hear him, you get stuck to Maharaj. He's so sweet. So one is the language, one is the way we speak. So they're two different things. You understand? So bhasha, some people are very mradu bhashi. They speak very mradu. Some people are like, they have a stick in their hand, we call latmar. In Hindi they call, when they speak, looks like they are throwing some stones on us. They're very harsh speakers. So two things. Ka bhasha is the language we are talking. Prabhasha refers to the speech, the way he speaks. Asit refers to his sitting, and Vrajet refers to his wandering. Okay, there are 4 questions. Now, just external translation of these words will feel like we are talking about some big celebrity here. So Shah Rukh Khan, how does he sit? How does he talk? How does he walk? The way they talk, Bombaya language. And then, the kids who see the movie, after the movie, they'll also start, same Shah Rukh Khan, he does this style, so I would also do that style. No. Arjun is not like that. Arjun is not talking about this sort of a cinema celebrity here. No, his questions are very, very deep. And the response of Krishna, you will see, which will go through actually next 20 verses. So bhasha is the language. Prabhupada translates as, you see here, Prabhupada translates here in his translation as language. What is his language? This is the bhasha. In the translation, in the purport, he talks about the symptoms. So bhasha has 2 meanings. We have heard the word bhashya. Govind Bhashya is a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So we have bhashya, we have tika. Tika is so bhashya, you can say a commentary on the verses, and tika refers to the commentary on the commentary. So many times we heard the word tika. Tika means acharyas have already written the commentary, and we are writing commentary on commentary. Example, Bhurijan Prabhu has written Surrender Unto Me, the book which we all refer. I'm sure you're also referring as well. I also refer. So which is a commentary on Prabhupada commentary. So Prabhupada has written a commentary here. Prabhupada has taken his commentaries from Baldev Vidyabhushan, for example, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and we refer to those commentaries sometime. So that is called bhashya. So bhashya refers to the description, because there's a verse and there's a description of that. That's called bhashya. So our acharyas open the verse for us. We can't read the verse. Even if I know Sanskrit, I don't know, but even if I know, just the translation will not present the meaning of the verse, what Krishna is trying to pass. And that's why Prabhupada said, this is Bhagavad Gita as it is. So bhasha here refers to the symptoms or characteristics or the description of this person. Okay, that's the bhasha. Prabhashe, the way he speaks, that will be described by Krishna. I'll open the PDF file. So symptoms, bhasha will be answered by Krishna. So the 4 questions will be answered by Krishna in the subsequent verses, around 17-18 verses. So bhasha, language, symptoms, characteristics will be answered by Krishna in 255. Speech, which is prabhashet, will be answered by Krishna in 56 and 57, 2 verses, the way he speaks. The speech will refer to two things, external and internal. We'll talk when we reach there. Sitting refers to not just a physical sitting. Sitting refers to how does he control his senses. Huh? When we say sit down, when you see sometimes we say to children, sit down. Sit down does not necessarily mean just a physical sit down. You're doing just too many activities. Just sit down, just calm down. Huh? So here sitting refers to asit, the word is used in Sanskrit, refers to how does he control his senses? How does he not like chanchal all the time? He's just wandering here and there all the time. Sit down, calm down. How does he do that? That Krishna will respond 58 to 63, 6 verses. And how does he walk? Walking here refers to, again, not a physical walking. How does he wander in the world which is full of temptations? Huh? When we go out, suppose Mataji or Prabhuji, when goes out in the city, never know a product. You see a big billboard of that product. Sometimes you have a desire to buy that product, isn't it? Sometimes we go for a window shopping. We call it window shopping. And after we're doing window shopping, you get inside the shop and you start shopping, actual shopping. Huh? So our rajat or walking refers to when we walk in the world full of temptations and illusions, we succumb to those temptations and illusions. Huh? We give in, we give ourselves to those temptations. Huh? How does this sthita pragya, this fixed person, walk around and not get tempted? You understand? Huh? So this is what it refers to walking. Huh? So walking, his sitting refers to his controlling of his senses and mind. His speech refers to how does he think and how does he present himself, and symptoms, characteristics is refers to how do we identify that person. Okay, so 4 questions, and Krishna will start responding to these 4 questions. It's a very nice topic, actually, this whole section here, and very famous verses are there as well. Okay, 255. Kanishka Mataji, Hare Krishna. Okay, she may not be there. I can ask Prasanand Prabhu Vijayakopi Mataji to read the verse.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Prajahati yada kaman.
Prajahati yada kaman.
Sarvan partha manogatan.
Sarvan partha manogatan.
Atmani eva atmana tushta.
Atmani eva atmana tushtaha.
Shrida prajñas tado uchyate.
Yasthit pragyas tado uchyate.
Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which rise from mental concoctions, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So this is the response of which question of Arjuna? Anyone can say? I just explained.
This language, Bhashya, Ka Bhasha.
Bhashas. Yes, Prabhuji. So symptoms. Huh? So the symptoms, the characteristics. So how would you identify? So Krishna in this particular verse gives 2 identification, 2 characters, 2 symptoms of this person of sthita pragya. Huh? So Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Prajahati yada kaman. Prajahati refers to he has given up. Yada kaman. So kaman refers to the desires. Huh? He has given up desires. Sarvan. How many desires he has given up? Sarvan. All the desires he has given up. Now you will say, all right, devotees also have desires. We want to have celebration for Krishna. We want to cook for Krishna. We want to decorate Krishna. So he has given all the desires. Now there's adjective on the second line. Sarvan Parth Manogatan. Which desires he has given up? Manogatan, which arise from mental concoction. Huh? So he has not given up all the desires in that sense. He has given all the desires which arise from mental concoction. We'll talk about it in a second. And so this is the first characteristic. He has given up all material desires, you can say. Second line, Atmane evatmana tushta. So Atmani refers to his own self. Atmana, Atmana refers to the mind. So he has turned his mind towards his own. Right now, where our mind goes outside, isn't it? Most of the time, our mind goes outside. What is there in our neighbors? What is there in the next street? What is there in the next country? What is there in this package and that package? And what's the deal in the Coles today or Myers today? Always going outside. And this outside doesn't give us any happiness. Huh? But when we turn our mind inside, inside refers to when you really meditate on Krishna or Krishna's holy name or pastime. You go in Mangala Aarti, and I can just give one simple example, and I'm sure you would have experience. You go in the Mangala Aarti, just stand in front of Radha Gopinath. Don't do anything. You feel so much happiness and satisfaction just by being present there. You don't have to, do anything. Just be present there in the presence of devotee. In that time, you see Radha Gopinath, just feels so good. Now, take a contrary example. You buy, n number of clothes for yourself, which you feel will look very good on you. Will you get that much satisfaction? Maybe probably for 5-10 minutes, you may get some satisfaction, and all the satisfaction goes if no one says, "Kya lag rahe ho?" Someone has to say that. Mera aaj koi dress hi nahi dekha. No one is looking at my dress today. Huh? All the excitement goes down. And if someone says, "Very nice dress," paise vasool ho gaye. Whatever money I invested in this dress or car or house or whatever, you feel satisfied. But this is external. No, people are not bound to say you're looking good or you're not looking good. Your car is good, your dress is good, you speak good, whatever. Huh? They're all external things which are very temporary, which are not guaranteed. But when we look inwards, Atmani evatmana tushta, when we look inwards, we actually become tushta. And this yogi, this person, this fixed in Krishna consciousness, is constantly looking at inwards things, not outwards things. He's not relying, his happiness is not relying on someone saying, "Wow, you are great." No, he's not looking forward to those things. And the more you look forward to those things, the more you get frustrated. And this is one of the causes of envy, of our envy, because we compete with others. And he's got 30 likes. I only got 12 likes. How come he got 30 likes? I also have to get 30 plus likes on our birthday. If we get 200 likes, yeah, I'm a great person. If you get only 2 likes, I'm not great. All those things are outwardly things. It will never satisfy us. And many young people these days, I've heard in lectures, they're committing suicide. It's called cyberbullying. They compete with each other on Facebook or Twitter or on those platforms, and they feel actually I'm of no use because I have no friends. They have no idea about the meaning of friend. Anyway, so coming back to this verse, so 2 characteristics Krishna is giving. So first characteristic is Sarvan Parth Manogatan. He has given up all the desires which are mentally concocted. Again, what mental concoction here means? When we desire something which is generated purely by our mind, and mind tells us, just by an example, by this dress or car, I will become happy. That is called material desire. That is coming out of your mind. It has no value, no meaning. You will never get any satisfaction or happiness there. Yeah, temporary flickering will be there. Flickering means initially, you buy a $200,000 car. Initially, it looks very good, isn't it? Especially when you park outside your house, even if you have 3 parking inside, you park outside knowingly so people can see it. It feels good. After a week, it feels better. After 2 weeks, it feels good. And after 3 or 4 weeks, it just becomes normal. It's just a car which is used to go from A to B. So all the excitement goes, it says in first 3 to 4 weeks. It applies to actually scientific research being done. A shirt or a dress, I can say a car or a house, the excitement after 3 to 4 weeks just goes down. Initially, it's like growing up in the graph, and it just goes down very, very soon because it's all external. So Sarvan Parth Manokatan. So we should also not rely on those desires which our mind is telling. Just by externally decorating ourselves, externally possessing something will make us happy. It will never happen. At least for a long time, it will never happen. For short periods, it may happen. It may seem like it's happening. Yes, I'm very happy by achieving something or someone, but long term, there's nothing much there. So prajahati yada kama, so give up all the desires which are mentally concocted, which are rising from material mind. Atmanne vatmanata. So you turn your mind inwards rather than going on outwards, you go inwards. And the more you go inwards, you become more and more happy. Sthit pragya sadochas. So this person is known as Sthit pragya. So the first question is answered. Let's go to the second question. What is the second question? Anyone? What's a Sanskrit word? So first one was ka bhasha. Bhasha, as I said, language as well as symptoms, characteristics. Second question was Kim Prabhaset. Prabhaset refers to Hindi or English translation. So Prabhu saying something I can't hear.
Speech.
Speech. Now, speech has two parts. Now, His Holiness Bhakti Rasanat Maharaj, a few years ago, he gave a very nice seminar, how to speak. What was the topic exactly?
Art of
Culture of speech.
culture of
Culture of speech.
Culture of speech. Thank you, Kanika Mataji. Culture of speech. Maharaj gave very nice, wonderful seminar for 2 days. He was talking. You say speaking is just speaking. You know, I am speaking all day. But he said there's a culture of speech, and he picked up the topic from Bhagavad Gita from 16th chapter. So the speech is not something which we just identify speaking. I'm speaking Hindi or English or Chinese or this and that. No, that's not just a speech. Speech has a big realm. So Krishna has covered 2 realms here. So we'll see. One is the internal, one is the external. So internal means our speech is based on what we think. Some people you see, especially I have seen in India in colleges, some people use, some wrong words while speaking, isn't it? Every time they say something, they have to say the wrong word. So these words keep coming. Sometimes you see a person speaking with a very angry mode. It's always in that sort of mode. Sometimes you see devotees are just happy, satisfied. They don't have much in the heart. And sometimes you see this person is speaking like this, but it must have something else. So our speech represents our mind, many times, if not all the time. Sometimes you may be angry and you may hide your anger emotions and you can still present yourself nice, funny, or other way. So first Krishna in 256 represents the mind of the person, which is the basis of the speech. So this verse, we are reading the mind. Let's read what does this person's mind reacts with. So who will read 256? I have not read as yet. Who has not read as yet? Maybe Mataji can read. Yeah.
Yes, please. Dukkeshvanudignamanah Sukeshu vigataspruhah Vitaragabhayakrodha Stitadhirmuiruchyate. One who is not disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind.
Thank you, Mataji. So his mind. So dukkhesh anudigna. So udvigna means agitated. So when dukkha comes, generally speaking, what happens to us? We become agitated. Yes, I become. You go out on the street where you parked your car, and then you see a $139 fine. You become udvigna. What is this? Any little or major dukkha comes in our life, we become agitated. But the characteristic of this sthit pragya person is dukkheshu. When dukkha comes, udvigna. His mind is not agitated. Prabhupada translates without being agitated in mind. And when sukha comes, what happens with us? When sukha comes, we want more sukha, isn't it? We don't want dukkha, we want sukha. Prahlad Maharaj says that in his prayers. And all of us are trying to become happy in the world and trying to get rid of the misery. But what is happening actually is other way. Our trials of becoming happier are getting failed actually. The more we try for happiness, the less we become happy. And then more we try to go away from dukkha, the more and more dukkha comes. It happens with all of us. And that's why Prahlad Maharaj said you should stop trying for being happy. Then you will become happy. It's a big statement actually. Big statement. But same statement Krishna is using here. So Sthit Pragya is not agitated when dukkha comes, and he's not elated. Elated means puffed up. When someone prays, Prabhu, you are super good, Prabhu, yeah, Prabhu, oh, this and that. You become very, like a balloon in your heart. This person is so nice, actually. He's so nice. In all the devotee community in Sydney Yatra and Melbourne Yatra, he's the only person who recognizes me, who understands me, how great I am. We all become like a balloon. And then someone put a little needle on the balloon and balloons blasted. All our false ego gets shattered. Just the next moment, Lal Govind Prabhu said, someone has put you on the elephant. Just wait, they will put you on the gada, on the on the donkey very soon. Huh? So we should not become elated when someone is praising. Huh? If a praise comes, we give it to our guru. Huh? Or we give it to our peers. Huh? Because of these devotees' help, I was able to do something. Huh? We should not deny that devotee may be really speaking something nice. So we should accept it, but give the glories to our Guru Maharaj or our other devotees. Because of their help, because of their mercy of gurus and all the devotees, I was able to do something useful. And I'm very happy that it was useful for you. Huh? We should take it from that perspective, not in a denial perspective. Okay, so when a sukha comes, this devotee here, Sthit Dhir Muni, is not looking. Ispraha refers to we are aspiring, we are looking in that direction. When the sukha is coming, when the sukha is coming, when the sukha is coming. But this person is sukhesh vigat ispraha. His ispraha, his desire, his hankering to get sukha is gone. Huh? And that's why he is happy. You remember the example which I think Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj gave. There's a king who was trying to be happy, and he could not be happy when he had all the opulence of the whole world. So someone suggested him, you should wear a shirt of a happy person. Huh? So he was his commanders in chief were looking for a happy person all around the kingdom. They could not find a happy person. Finally, they found a person who was a boatman or someone like that, a very poor person, just sitting, and he's happily singing something. He seemed very happy. And these soldiers went to this person. Are you happy? He said, yes, I'm happy. He said, come to our king. He went to the king, and king said, you look very happy. He said, yes, I'm happy. Can you give me your shirt? What was his answer? I don't have a shirt. That's why I'm happy. So many times we think, by having a shirt, by having this thing or that thing, we'll become happy. But sometimes having those things causes unhappiness. Huh? We hear a phrase, I don't remember the exact phrase, but many people aspire to have a crown on their head. Huh? Many people aspire to have a crown on their head. And the person who has the crown, he is constantly worried how he's going to save his head. It happens. A king who is a king, he's not just a king, he's not just enjoying, he's constantly worried someone will chop off his head. It has happened so many times. I went to London many years ago, and you would have seen London Tower. So when I was there, someone told me this story, and I was shocked. He said the London Tower, which people come to see from very far distant land, this London Tower actually is a graveyard. This is a graveyard of one of the kings of Britain. I don't remember the name, obviously. He and his wife both were actually cut off to pieces by some enemies, and they were actually buried in this London Tower. I was like, wow, people come to see, oh, great monument. What is this monument? It's a graveyard, actually. And people come and see that. So imagine for this particular king who was chopped off of that particular night on that incident, it's his death, it's his pain, and we come and appreciate this. Wow, it's looking great. I'm in London Tower, people take photos on that. Huh? So
Taj Mahal.
Huh?
Taj Mahal.
Taj Mahal, thank you. Taj Mahal, same thing. 3 lakh people had to chop up their thumbs within like 2 hours. British soldiers chopped up the thumbs of 3 lakh Indian laborers. 3 lakh, 300,000. Pretty big number. So ask them the importance of Taj Mahal. They will tell you. And we say, oh, we went to Taj Mahal. Huh? Look at our photos. Huh? We many times, we just don't know what we are doing. What is our happiness? We just don't know. We have this so-called defined happiness, which actually is not happiness. We talk about Valentine's Day. I heard in a lecture, Valentine's, the Saint Valentine. He gave up his life on 14th of February for the sake of public. And we have a complete different meaning. No one even knows this Saint Valentine anymore now. Huh? They have this Valentine's Day, so-called Love Day. Huh? Completely, the love was there. The love was there for a saint, for the people. That was the love we are talking about. That was the love which our ancestors tried to celebrate. Tried to remind people, have this love and compassion. Some sage gave his life for the love of other people. But now the definition of that compassion has become completely distorted to today's definition. Anyway, so Sukhesh Vigat is plus. So the more we aspire for Sukha, Sukha will go away from us. So we should not aspire for Sukha. And when the dukha comes, we should not be udvigna, we should not be agitated with the dukha. This will come and go. Matra Shastri Konteya, Sitosha Sukha Dukta. They will come and go. Agama Painolita. Their appearance and disappearance is temporary. And the second characteristic of the mind, obviously, Vita Raga Bhaya. Vita means again gone. His raga attachment to Bhaya and Krodha, fear. Raga refers to the attachment, Bhaya refers to the fear. And I think I've discussed about it. We have some Bhaya for the future and always lamentation for the past. So Vita is gone. Raga Bhaya Krodha. His attachment for Bhaya and Krodha is gone. Isthit Dhir Muni Uchyate. So this person is known as Isthita. Isthita refers to the sthit, fixed. Dhir Munir Uchyate. I'll read translation again of Prabhupada. Very nice. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amongst the threefold miseries. Why he's writing in mind? Because if the pain comes to our body, we will be disturbed, right? We will be disturbed. If there's a lot of pain in the tooth or something, we will be disturbed, but not in the mind. Mind, we understand this pain is bodily pain, is temporary. It's come, it will go. So one is not disturbed in the mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there's happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, which is Rag, Bhai, and Krodha, is called a sage of steady mind. Okay, so this is the internal situation. Ujjwala Samataji, you have something to say or add?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, I was just thinking about these three things about Sthitadhira Muni. We talked about how he speaks, that is his speech. Then how does he sit, which actually means how he controls his senses and mind. And how does he walk, means that refers to how does he respond to temptations. So how does he speak? That is given in the purport by Srila Prabhupada, that the immediate symptom of Krishna conscious man is the one who speaks only of Krishna and matters related to him. So that is the direct symptom. But the next two verses which are given, where the desires are given up by controlling the mind. And also the next 56 refers to how the mind is to be controlled. So this has got a little shade of how does he sit.
This is the speech, Mataji. Kim Prabhase.
So how, I'm not very clear on that, because I thought the symptom of speech is one who talks only of Krishna and Krishna Katha.
Yes.
But this mind that is being talked about in the next two verses, could you please explain how does it talk about the speech?
Yes, Mataji. So as I said, our speech is represented by our mental status. So if our mind is clean, pure, we will be speaking in that way. If our mind is disturbed, we'll be speaking another way. And you see, sometimes when a people is angry, his normal tone changes. And when he's happy, his tone changes as well. So before we talk about the physical speech, so Krishna is describing his mental status. Because his mental status is completely under control, that's how he can speak in a nice way. First, we have to clean our mind. Many times some person is angry, you'll say, okay, Prabhuji, just calm down, we'll talk tomorrow. It happens because his mind is disturbed. You don't know what you're talking. We will not reach to any conclusion or any reasonable discussion here. So let's talk tomorrow. Let's talk next week. Mind has to settle down. So Krishna at the moment is talking about his mental status before he talks to the physical speech. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay. Let's do one more verse of his speech, 257, and then we'll stop the class. So just for everyone's benefit, so we are in the speech section, 56 to 257. Okay, last verse of the day. Who would like to read?
Oh, I can read.
Thank you, Mataji.
Oh. Okay, sorry, I'm not very good with the pronunciation. So, ya sarvatra nabi nehas.
Yaha sarvatra nabi snehas.
Tat prapya subha subham.
Tat prapya shubha ashubham.
Nabi nandati nadveshti.
Nabi nandati nadveshti.
Tasya prajna pratasthita. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, it is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge.
Thank you, Mataji. So again, continuation of the same thoughts, same answer Krishna is giving for the speech of this Sthita Pragya. So yaha refers to one who sarvatra, everywhere. And the Prabhupada uses the word anabhi sneha. So sneha word is used in Hindi. Sneha means affection. Anabhi sneha refers to without affection. So this person is without affection. Where he is without affection? Sarvatra, not like at home, I'm very sneha, I'm very affectionate to my family, but my neighbor, I don't like my neighbor. No, not like sarvatra. He is anabhi sneha, he's without affection. Now the situations are explained. Shubha or ashubha. Tat tat prapya shubha ashubham. So you just look at this line here, very easy line. Tat tat prapya. So sometime you'll prapya, sometime you'll receive shubha. Shubha means you will receive praises, and sometimes ashubha. Inauspicious things. Someone may abuse you, someone may say something bad to you, some words which hurts your heart. It will happen. So, but this person is without affection. So tat tat prapya shubha or ashubha, auspicious or inauspicious, good or bad. And Prabhupada translates here is good or evil. He may obtain. So prapya is obtain, good is shubha, ashubha refers to evil here. So na abhinandanti. So na abhinandanti, na dvesti. Na abhinandanti refers to he does not praise, neither praising. Abhinandanti refers to Abhinandan word in Hindi. They use Abhinandan means to praise. Na abhinandanti, he will not praise. Na dveshti, neither he is dveshta. So if I'm not praising someone, people may feel, oh, he must be very jealous of me. No, but this person is not jealous. He's not speaking because he is jealous, or he's not praising because he really loves that person. As Mataji just said, he only speaks Krishna Katha. And that person is in complete fixed situation who is speaking only about Krishna. And Prabhupada said many times, a Mauni is not Mauni, the person who does not speak with the lips. Mauni is a person who does not speak any nonsense with the lips, with the tongue. If you only speak Krishna Katha, that means you're a Mauni. So this person is also na abhinandanti, na dveshti. He neither praises nor he hates. Tasya pragya pratisthita. So now we are talking from the mental side to the external side. External side is speaking. How does he speak? He neither appreciates nor he has any hatred towards anyone. And he is tasya pragya pratisthita because he is equal in shubha or ashubha. Whether he gets shubha, whether he gets praises, he gets dispraises, good or evil, he is completely equipoised in both the situations. Okay. So let's take any questions or comments. Then we will stop here because then we'll start the question 3 and 4 next time, 58 onwards. Okay, all happy? Okay, then Sumit Prabhu, any announcements?
Prabhuji, only that we don't have a class on this Sunday. So next class would be on the next Sunday, which would be the 19th in North Sydney.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And the reason we are not having class, previously we planned one reason, it's a long weekend, so we wanted to give some break to the devotees who wants to go out, which is good. Now we have another reason as well. On 12th, we are having Narsinga Yagya for the health of His Holiness Kadam Kanan Maharaj. So if you are able to, I request you, please come and participate in the Yagya, pray for Maharaj. If you're not able to physically come, wherever you are, please pray to the lordships if they desire, so Maharaj can come out of all these unhealthy symptoms, and he can become healthy and he can stay with us for a very, very long time. So if possible, please come with you, your family. We'll be very happy to have you in the temple, all of you. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
What time is the yagya?